Hey guys, what's going on? This is Darth Arma. Spreading my commentary track love over to other players. I will be doing a lot of different players, but right now I'm going to be doing this set for Red Raptor. Red Raptor is going to be taking on Hayatei with his Black Canary. Now, for those of you who don't know who Red Raptor is, or for those of you who are very impressed by his gameplay and you're like, wow, this guy should be competing at all tournaments. Well, little background on Red Raptor, a very great Mortal Kombat X player, but the reason you don't really see him at events is because he is a great player at one of the most highest calibers out there. The reason you don't see him at events is because he's done work with NRS in their quality assurance department and as well with their gameplay testing. And he's done a fantastic job, and I wouldn't have any, he's the perfect lab monster to really find all these crazy things out, all these little niches in and out of the game. And right now he's making work on that last little pixel, but let's go into the set. Looks like we're going into this game mid-set, but we're going to keep score from here. And Raptor has a really good control of Hayatei right here in this set. And for those of you who don't know Hayatei, Panda Global's best Injustice 2 player out there. Had a great showing at the Injustice Pro Series finals in Hollywood, California, as well as a great showing at on TBS for E-League. Big shout outs to E-League, big shout outs to Hayatei for doing this set with Red Raptor. Now let's see what's going on. Hayatei being very aggressive after that clash, and a beautiful throw tech there. Kind of saw it coming. I feel like Hayatei's a very reactionary based player, and it looks like Red Raptor's got this all sealed up with that transition going all the way to the other side of Brainiac's ship. Is this enough? No, it's not, and Hayatei just wakes up. He just goes for it. Figured if this doesn't hit, I don't deserve to win anyway. But very smart move by Red Raptor there, kind of breaking up the tension. I don't know how that interrupted. He crossed him up on the other side. Red Raptor getting hit by so many things. The Birdarang, and he had a flip out. What a last minute flip out, and I can't believe Hayatei made that miraculous comeback. Just right decision after right decision, and Red Raptor really choked it up. Shades of that epic Honeybee comeback, which was against Red Raptor. Not sure what happened there. Just lacking that little thing to just kill Hayatei, just end him. And that is the problem with Canary. It's more of, she's either really in there or she's really not. She's got no full screen presence other than that scream, and that scream can be interrupted by a lot of things, as we just saw Hayatei interrupting it perfectly with a Batarang, or I guess more of Red Raptor perfectly interrupting himself with that terrible timing. Alright, catches them in the air. Now you're going to be seeing Black Canaries of all calibers, going for that standing 3-3 a lot. And the reason they go for that is because it's plus on block. It's plus 2 or 3, I believe. But, when you have a mix-up character like Canary at plus in front of your face, it's very, very scary. So, she just always wants to operate in that range. She just wants to get in your face and mix you up with Canary drops or mix you up with somersault setups like that, trying to bait out the wake up, and Hayatei going with a wake up Assassin Strike. Now, Assassin Strike's one of those wake ups that you just, the timing and reacting to that wake up. Now the wake up is unsafe on block. Every character can punish it, but it's more about the player. Like, can you react to it? Can you see it coming and be ready? It's almost like you have to kind of anticipate that he's going to be doing Assassin Strike and not just his wake up uppercut with the sword. Oh, trying to catch Hayatei, too scared to press buttons, but Hayatei says, I don't care if I'm negative, I'm still going to backdash out of here. Backdashing in this game, even when you're not doing it as a wake-up, it doesn't really count as a wake-up, but just backdashing in this game in general does provide you invincibility frames. Now, what that means is there's going to be frames where your hurt box does not exist, where even if your opponent did put a limb, a fist, or some kind of headbutt over your body, you're still going to be able to avoid it for a few frames of the beginning of your backdash. So backdashing is a great way to kind of get out of dodge, a great way to kind of make your opponent whiff something, and a great way to reestablish and reset some kind of neutral game. So always look for those backdash opportunities, but you can't go crazy because most backdashes, as long as they're not Catwoman's, most backdashes in this game do have recovery. So if your opponent likes to backdash after a certain situation, you can sniff it out on a nice hard read and possibly just go for a full combo and really punish them for backdashing. And now look at that, Hayatei just kind of backing up. He's basically baiting Red Raptor to kind of jump at those birderings. He's looking for something to kind of whiff, and he's punishing accordingly by attacking those landing frames of Red Raptor. Now watch out, there's going to be I was looking for a reset there, but looks like Red Raptor just kind of dropped the ball on that one. And speaking of dropping balls, Hayatei using that interactable, the disco ball, to try to extend his combo, and now Red Raptor in the driver's seat. Going for something here, and there it is. Hayatei trying to backdash, trying to just get out of the situation, and Red Raptor doing a great job, or I don't know if it's some kind of anticipation on that setup to kind of blow up the backdash and you know, to punish him for it. Now next time Hayatei's in that situation, he might think twice about it, or he might just do it again. It's all about the mind games. You know, opponent that refuses to be conditioned sometimes can be a pain to deal with.
Last chance to fall in line.
Oh, hell no.
Alright, and Hayatei going for 2 bars, going for a little most bang for his buck. 15% for that first bar and 10% for the other one. Not sure if he was anticipating Red Raptor to use his only bar, but Red Raptor going for more of the defensive play style and the defensive strategy to kind of hold on to his bar for his own combos, especially because we know with 1 bar, Canary can do so much damage, and she's got so much damage potential on top of reset potential in so many different situations. The hard knockdown by Hayatei, and the delay wake up does kind of throw off his timing a little bit. Going for sweeps after sweeps after sweeps, and Red Raptor kind of feeling him out, trying to just play the footsie game here. Good block of the overhead and great block of the cross-up. Goes for the throw. What's Hayatei going to do? He doesn't wake up. He just blocks the back 3 and somehow just got caught pressing a button, possibly trying to jump in, just doing anything but blocking. You know, that's the thing with Canary's trait. You really got to wait it out. And for those of you who don't know how Canary's trait works, there's 3 levels of screams that you can see the progress of it down there at the bottom of the screen. Right now it's at level 1. It can go to level 2, level 3, and it gets stronger where it applies more hit stun. On top of that, it has way better range. So once she gets that level 3 Canary Cry, she's pretty much in control at full screen if you do decide to move. But that's only if Canary can react perfectly to those projectiles before they come out. She doesn't get a hit of armor or anything, so she's either got to deal with the trade and convert into a combo, or she's got to beat it out clean before the projectile even becomes active. And Red Raptor looking much better right there. And Hayatei with the anti-air and a great conversion there. I think he's been in this situation a few times. Going for the hard knockdown and the burnerang on the wake up. Now, that's that's usually the bread and butter for Robin players to end with the I believe it's the 2-1-2 string or the 2-3-2. I believe it's 2-1-2. It leaves you in a hard knockdown after a juggle state. Not only does it leave you in a hard knockdown, it also is cancelable into a special move. Usually it's a birderang that he throws out, and that birderang is just kind of perfectly timed to be on top of your wake up. So it's kind of one of those situations where Robin forces his opponent to block whatever setup he's got for him. And that's why he doesn't really have too much in the mix-up department as far as initial lows and initial overheads go. Robin, all his combos come from the overhead, so it's more about how many sweeps are you willing to take. That's why, look, right there, Red Raptor willing to take 2 sweeps because he knows the one time that he doesn't block low, he's going to get hit by an overhead, and he's going to take a lot of damage. And Hayatei using 3 bars, a little too much in my opinion. I feel like he could have held on to 1 bar for potentially either hurting Red Raptor and winning the clash or tying the clash, or possibly just for some combo potential. I feel like Robin's biggest weakness in this game is that he's so dependent on meter, but it doesn't look like it really mattered there. But Robin's biggest weakness in this game is that he's so dependent on meter. The range of how much meterless damage he is capable of is very, very insignificant compared to a lot of other characters in the cast. Now, other characters in the cast do suffer from the same thing as well, but you know, I feel like that'd be my biggest gripe if I was a Robin player. Great block there by the overhead by Red Raptor. Almost looked like he reacts to that sword coming out over Robin's head. So I think Red Raptor knows a thing or two about how to block against Robin. Not blocking that sweep, going to the other side and activating the Canary Cry, going for a full combo. What kind of reset are we going to see? He's in the corner. What side does it matter? It doesn't matter. He Assassin Strikes to just get out of there, leaving him in a hard knockdown with the Burgerang right on top of him. Now, although those aren't successful hits, you know, just making your opponent block anything does chip them out very slowly. But not only that, it builds a lot of bar for yourself. You know, Injustice doesn't reward the aggressor as hard as, you know, a game like MK9 or MKX, but I still say it does have it's give and takes, not just rewarding completely defensive play. I feel like it's somewhere more in the middle compared to those other games. And look at that delay wake up, just completely blowing up Red Raptor right there. Looking for some kind of meter burn back 3 or back 3. And Hayatei just kind of messing with the timing of it all. And Red Raptor just caught in the recovery frames of that back 3. Now back 3, when it whiffs, you can punish it, especially if you're as good of a player as Hayatei.
Gonna shove my fist up your...
Kiss your baby with that mouth?
All right, both players 2 apiece, being very aggressive. Now Hayatei, the reason why he would go for a move like that, because he knows that he can match bar for bar. Not only that, but look how much health he's got to work with. In this game, you build a lot of meter for every piece of health that you lose. So the way that Hayatei figures it, even when the game does get close, he's going to be building more bar compared to what Red Raptor's going to have, because he's in a very bad spot here. And the reason that the game works that way, where you build a lot of bar for your health, or when you lose health, it's kind of the game's built-in comeback mechanic. You know, it's not as aggressive or as crazy as an X Factor like in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but it is very gradual, and it is kind of a way to you know, even the skill gap between 2 players is, you know, you're getting your ass handed to you. Well, here's a lot of bar. Make something happen with it. Throw in some meter burn back 3s, extend your combos, anything. Alright, and what kind of reset are we going to see? Are we going to see a reset of any kind of variety? Let's see, Red Raptor going for the hard knockdown. And I believe he's, with that Canary Cry, he should be making those overheads and low strings a little bit safe, while also having some combo potential. And Hayatei just finds himself stuck inside the disco ball and the forward 3, because he was in the corner. He didn't want to trigger the transition. As you can see at the top, he's got that little bubble there. He didn't want to trigger the transition. Instead, he'd rather keep Hayatei here in the corner like a caged animal, where he can control him a little bit more, where he can predict his spacing a little bit more, and where he can kind of control the footsie game. Especially, and that's really important with a character like Canary, and she just got inside, crossover, overhead. I don't know how you're supposed to block this character. And Hayatei starting to do a good job, but I think it might be a little too late for this one. And Hayatei looking for some kind of forward dash, possibly anticipating Red Raptor to go in for a cross-up, but it just wasn't enough. Red Raptor in full control there. Hayatei just basically staring at Red Raptor as he brings that foot down onto his face, opening him up with that overhead. Now in this game, and in a lot of 2D fighters, overheads require you to block while standing. You can't just block everything in this game by just crouch blocking or stand blocking. You either have to crouch block for lows or stand block for overheads. Now in this game also, as long as you hit your normal button on the way down and not on the way up from any jump, jumps are going to hit and register as overheads. So you kind of have to react to them, see them coming, try to anti-air them if your character has a good enough anti-air, but at least either get out of the way or block correctly. Hayatei throwing down those Birderangs. Now those Birderangs, they all have different characteristics depending on the color. Now the blue one The blue one, I believe, was the blue one is a. Oh man, I'm drawing like the biggest blank here. I know there's one that's a teleport, one that hits low, and one that retracts straight back to Robin that hits as a mid. So, you know, you gotta watch out for the colors. I believe the red one is the low one, the yellow one is the teleport, and the blue one is the one that retracts straight back to Robin. So depending on what kind of birdering character power that he throws down at you on the floor, you really gotta kind of anticipate and make like a little mental note of it. Like, okay, he's got a little spot where he can teleport back there, or he's got a red one on the floor so he can potentially hit me low, which is the only initial low that Robin does have. That he can combo from. He does have sweep just like every other character in the game, but you really don't get too much combo potential from there. And the dash right under it. Take a page out of Red Raptor's book if you're ever trying to deal with that very pesky overhead that Robin throws at you over and over again, and you feel like you can't do anything about it. Well, if your character can't down two, if it just doesn't work, go for the dash. As long as it's a forward dash, there's very little recovery. You know, again, depending on your character, maybe your character can't do it, but you can definitely do it here with Black Canary, as Red Raptor just showed up. And even if you can't punish a move like that with that dash forward, at least you can establish some kind of pressure. You know, you can dash under and do whatever move, you know, sets you up for a frame trap. Whatever move gets you in a position that you want to be in. And right now where Red Raptor doesn't want to be is in the clutches of this sword, of this assassin, just holding it down. Never mind the down two into the level 3 Canary Cry. We got so much combo potential. Are we going to see any kind of reset, any kind of setup here? No, goes for the hard knockdown, goes for the jump in, and somehow the Birdering got retracted right over Red Raptor's head, and it just barely missed him. That would have been this would have been a completely different round if that had hit him. And Hayatei's probably just screaming in his head, like, why? Why did that not hit him? It could have gone anywhere else. It just did not want to hit him. Flips him out of the corner. I love the side switch there by Red Raptor, and a great hard knockdown setup there, but not enough. Hayatei making his comeback. Hayatei's got a little bit more meter than Red Raptor, so let's see what he does with it. But usually Robin, because he's very meter dependent for damage and combos, usually has to just kind of blow all his meter on anything, anytime he gets his hands on you.
Kiss your baby with that mouth?
2 and 2 apiece. Very strange that both these players, in a previous situation, they both went for 2 bars, and then in the exact same situation, they just decided to go, let's both go for 1 bar. That's fine. Not sure if that was a punish there, but very well calculated by Hayatei. And again, possibly punishing the landing frames there by Red Raptor. And he had no choice. He had to use his last bar to push block. And he gets out of the way. The Assassin Strike somehow. Can Red Raptor make this comeback? Oh, Hayatei wanted nothing to do with those plus frames. He just said, you know what? I'm not staying here. I want to get away from you. You know, usually a great backdashing in most games is a great way to kind of avoid frame traps. Usually when your opponent puts you at a disadvantage, when they put themselves at +2 or +3 on block, their fast button's usually going to beat out your fast button. So a lot of players like to stand there and not do anything. A lot of players like to backdash just to get out of the situation. Or if you're crazy and feeling very disrespectful and very frisky, you can press a button hoping that your opponent did not think you were crazy enough to press a button. So there's all kinds of mind games. But back to this match anyway. A little corner swag there by Red Raptor, going for the hard knockdown. What side is he on? Hayatei doesn't care because he's just going to wake up with a down 1-2. And the forward 3 again, not to initiate the transition, doesn't want anything to do with it. The hard knockdown, but gets little mistiming there because of Hayatei's delayed wake up. Goes for the Canary Cry. Hayatei thought it was all his. He thought this round was in the bag, and Red Raptor somehow comes out of it in very, very clean fashion. And the Assassin Strike not only takes out that last little bit of health, but flips the sides over. But it doesn't matter. Red Raptor using his only bar as a defensive tool to get out of the corner. And look at that, the bravery there to just go up to Robin's face, know that he's going to throw that Birdering and stopping it right before it becomes active. Now that Birdering, if you do hit Robin before it arcs past him, or a little bit before it arcs past him, that Birdering will just kind of go away. It auto tracks whether you're on the left side, whether you're on the right side, but it also auto tracks going up, going down. The big flaw in that Birdarang, the yellow Birdarang that he throws as a projectile, the big flaw is that it can be easily interrupted if he doesn't have a nice, clear way to get out of there. Red Raptor trying to make a comeback here. Hayatei opting not to clash, and the reason why is because he's at a huge disadvantage there, and he saves the 2 bars to just stop it. He had no choice. He was gonna lose if he did not flip out. And what a smart push block there to put him in that situation to punish him, but he just dropped the back 3. Not sure about the miscalculation. Okay, right there we just confirmed it was not a punish, or at least that situation it wasn't a punish. Hayatei was able to block after that forward dash. So it looks like Robin does recover very quickly from that move if you do forward dash right under the last part, or under the meter burn part. Hayatei just stared him down. He said, do it, do it, do it, because I'm going to meet you with a meter burn forward 3. Now, meter burn forward 3, as you just saw right there, Hayatei demonstrating. Meter burn forward 3 or meter burn back 3 is a universal tool that every character in the game has access, and it costs 1 bar. It costs 1 bar because it gives you 1 hit of armor, and that hit of armor for Hayatei got him past the Canary Cry and gave him the win pretty much there in that game. Gave him the win over Raptor, and punished him before he could block. Going for a big damage here, hard knockdown with the Birdarang over him. Just beating him with sweeps. Red Raptor's like, you know what, I'll take all 3 sweeps. I don't want to get hit by the overhead. And Hayatei is like, okay, give me those sweeps. Give me those sweeps. It's kind of insane when you find a player as good as Hayatei going for something like the same option 4 times in a row. It really makes it hard to kind of get a read on him. And, I've mentioned this before, he's not a methodical player. And being a methodical player isn't necessarily a great thing in any kind of fighting game. Being a methodical player isn't a great thing in any kind of game. Once you start doing the best option or the most calculated option all the time, that's the moment a great player can have that perfect textbook read. Just a manual on how to open you up. A manual on what you're gonna do next. And Hayatei is just, he throws the book out the window, and that's why he's such a great player. Throwing that Birdarang out, and the parry there from Red Raptor.
Last chance to fall in line.
Oh, hell no.
And Red Raptor making good use of that parry, going for the combo, forcing Hayatei to use his clash. Now, next time, look, from here on out, this is scary. Once you lose your clash, and Black Canary gets her hands on you, gets her hands and feet on you, it's very scary because we're in mix-up town where potentially you can get just reset after reset, and you can lose a lot of damage. Let's see what kind of setup we got. We're going for the hard knockdown here, going for the overhead, goes for the Canary Cry into the meter burn back 3 just because he knew Hayatei was going to press some buttons there, and a huge drop. That was the game-winning drop there by Hayatei. And look at those blocks, the overhead right into the low, and he wants nothing to do with that Birdarang. Now, most projectiles, Robin's projectile is one of those projectiles that once it gets out, once it touches you or makes you get out of the way, Robin is at a huge advantage. Because he's following that Birdarang. It's a little bit slow to start up, but it does allow him to kind of get right behind it, to kind of let him apply pressure with a jump in, with an overhead, with a sweep, with anything he wants to do. And it kind of just shuts you down to the point that when those Birdarangs come following, you're going to think twice about pressing buttons. You're going to think twice about trying to move out of the way. And then that's when Robin players will kind of throw you or try to mix you up. The meter burn back 3 and the side switch there, that's very, very important. Understanding where you are on the screen at all times. You really only see that in the highest level caliber of players, the highest caliber level of most of those players. Just knowing exactly what situation you're in and how to optimize your situation, how to adjust your combos, adjust your spacing, and just get in exactly where you want. I don't know what those 2 uppercuts were, but they went completely unpunished. I guess because Red Raptor is afraid of Hayatei possibly meter burning it, and Hayatei's just not doing it. Gets that last little bit of health, and Hayatei pretty much tied it up, but you got to look at the meter. Look how much meter he's got. Now, in this game, meter is potential. Meter is flipping out and making situations like that go in your favor. Meter is having ammunition here for your clash. Meter is extending your combos. Meter is finding opportunities with meter burn back threes and even doing stuff, aggressive things like meter burn rolling in. What kind of mix up are we going to see? Hayatei doesn't want to see anything, just wants to flip out as soon as he could or as soon as he saw the opportunity. And, you know, as this set has kind of developed, Hayatei's been really good at blocking those Canary mix-ups. I believe the Canary block pattern usually is block low until you see her little staggering flamingo leg. Then when you see the leg stagger, that's when you know the overhead's coming. Goes for the Canary drop. I almost feel like Red Raptor was expecting Hayatei to flip out. He kind of just stopped there and he said, okay, flip out. But wasn't totally committed to it. You know, he didn't try to punish him or anything, but he knew that Hayatei's only option there was to flip out because he already avoided the clash. As you can see at the top of the screen, or as you can see a few seconds ago if you want to rewind it, the clash icon wasn't there anymore. Now the clash icon is the sword and shield that you see at the top of the screen. You will see it once the first life bars go away, but if you're ever playing this game and you're kind of, and it happens to all of us, it happens even to the best players. If you're ever like, wait, I don't remember if I forced my opponent to clash. If you want a quick reference, just look at the top of the screen. Is his clash icon still available? Is my clash icon still available? I forgot if I clashed. All right, Hayatei looking for that meter burn forward 3 and somehow interrupts the Canary Cry. The Canary Cry just a little too slow to make it to the punch. Raptor's looking great right here. Lots of time for him to kind of build up that Canary Cry, but he looks like he wants no time to waste. He wants to just solidify this aggression. He was trying to whiff punish, and somehow the very long, normal range of Robin, which is probably his best asset. The best thing about Robin is the fact that his movement is pretty good. His walk speed is pretty good. On top of being pretty good, he's got great range for normal. So it's all about, you know, having that reach, you know, being in that spot where I can reach my opponent, but my opponent can't reach me. But it's kind of hard to find that spot when Black Canary has something like her Canary Cry, which does hit full screen as long as it's level 3. Can Hayatei make this comeback? This tiny little itty bitty pixel comeback? No, Red Raptor just simply walks up to him, punches him in the back of the head, and takes that match. You know, I'm really loving watching this Canary at the highest level right here. I mean, I know Sonic Fox has had his tournament wins with Black Canary, so I feel like Sonic Fox is a little more reset heavy, a little more set play heavy, where Red Raptor, I feel like he kind of he plays a little bit differently than Sonic Fox. Not exactly sure how, but I'm just not seeing the same things. And Red Raptor extending that combo, a big drop there, and Hayatei not really ready to tech roll, not really sure what's going on there. A big thing that I think helps a lot of Injustice 2 gameplay, especially with newer players, is tech rolling. Always be ready to tech roll when your opponent drops a combo. You know, if they don't drop the combo, you're fine. You're getting hit anyway. If they do drop the combo, you tech roll, possibly punish, or you know, just reset the neutral. Get out of that situation. Get away from your opponent. Especially if your character has a really bad wake up or no wake up at all. It's usually a good idea to anticipate your opponent dropping a combo and tech rolling. And Black Canary just slowly building up that meter with each one of those somersaults, and Hayatei just kind of wants to put an end to it, just wants to stop it and just, you know, continue with the game and continue with his mission, which is to take out this life bar. And not sure if Hayatei was looking to press a button there, looking to be a little disrespectful, but I wouldn't put it past him. And a big back 3 and a huge drop there by Hayatei. Not sure why it whiffed. But Hayatei is definitely kicking himself for that situation. And a bit of bravery there shown by Red Raptor. Again, just going after the Birdarang just head on, just face first, and just stopping it before it becomes a problem. Stopping that Birdarang before it comes active. Hard knockdown into the Birdarang, the classic Robin setup.
Even your name is stupid.
Don't insult me.
I think Robin says even your name is stupid to every character in this game. Almost every character. But right, I want to talk about that string, the 2-1-2 string. Now that's when Robin throws his sword up in the air and comes down with it. That's the string that you usually see Robin players end their juggles with, because it ends in a hard knockdown and it's cancelable into a trait or a Birdarang. Hold on, I'll talk about it after this. After this crazy comeback, he was in range. He was in range of the transition, and it was just enough to take him out. Was it? No, it's not. He's still here. He's still here. What's he going to do? He goes for the overhead. Red Raptor kicking himself. He thought the transition was enough to seal the deal. He possibly forgot the fact that Robin did not have Clash, or maybe he just didn't want to give him an opportunity to flip out or to air tech. But I do want to talk about Robin's string. Now that 2-1-2 string, I believe there is a 6 or 7 frame gap in there. Now, if your character has something like a parry or a very fast 6 frame normal, you can get in there and interrupt it. The string does have a big tell, and that big tell, or that big visual cue, that big visual marker that kind of lights up in your head and like, okay, here's my opportunity, is when he throws that sword up in the air. Once he throws that sword up in the air, you can do stuff like meter burn back 3. You can beat it out clean if you have a 6 frame normal. Or if you have a parry that starts up in less than 6 frames, you can just parry, or the funnest approach out of all the things to blow up 2-1-2 is to just go for full-blown super. In this game, super does have multiple hits of armor, so even if he does cancel out, you know, as long as your super is not like the slowest super in the game, you should be able to beat out Robin and interrupt it clean. Getting Red Raptor as he tries to approach Robin head on, getting a little frisky there. And I guess what Hayatei wanted to do there in that situation is not go for a hard knockdown setup, but instead ends his combo in the Assassin Strike just for the side switch. He wants to push Red Raptor a little bit closer and closer to this corner. Now the closer he is to the corner, oh man, I was going to say the more control he is, but Red Raptor utilizing one of the best defensive mechanics in this game, and that is the push block. The push block in this game is a great way to kind of get a little bit of breathing room when your opponent is just a little too much and you want that nice cushion between you and them. A great option is to go for the push block. Now how you initiate the push block is a little tricky, and a lot of players kind of struggle with it in the beginning, but you have to time forward and meter burn right after you're done blocking an attack from your opponent. The window's pretty small, but if you practice it, you can really get it down pat. I know it's very discouraging in the beginning because you're like, oh, I'm trying to push block and I end up getting hit. It's okay. Work through it and the mechanic will become easier and easier as time goes on. Great sweep there by Raptor, trying to get some kind of ambiguous setup there with that jump in, but Hayatei doing a good job of blocking until he got opened up here. And again, sniffing out that backdash, just anticipating it perfectly, and that was a big drop, very unlike Raptor, but we're going for a little ride here. Not sure if Raptor looked up at the top for a reference to see if the transition was in range, but I personally would have went for a forward 3 just to maintain the corner position. And again, he's possibly avoiding maybe Robin from Hayatei going for some kind of air escape. It's very, very annoying when you have your opponent, you're ready to kill them, ready to take out that first bar, and they somehow make this miraculous comeback with that little pixel. So maybe Red Raptor doesn't like pixels. He doesn't like when his opponent's down to a sliver because he knows that that's when you go into God mode and that's when you make comeback. Now that's a great blow up there of the somersault or the forward somersault. Now Black Canary's forward somersault and I'm sorry, the handspring where she kind of flips around through you, or where she flips around behind her to get a little bit more breathing room. A lot of Black Canaries use this as a wake-up attack. Now, it's not fully invincible. It does have some invincibility frames, but it's not fully invincible. And if you know which direction she's going in, or if you want to take a guess, you can really, really blow her up for it. All you just got to do is take it to the lab. You know, the training room in this game is so amazing. You can recreate so many different situations. You can set the AI to do automatic wake-ups. So all you have to do is go to training room against Black Canary, set the AI to do the somersault wake-up, and you know, just see exactly like what's my timing. How do I have to jump in at her on her wake-up to blow up this option, because this option is driving me nuts. You know, anything in this game. If something's bothering you, take it to the lab. You know, do your research, do your homework. Just go for something. Now, I love how Hayatei's changing up his strings. He's kind of changing where all the holes and all the gaps are in his string to kind of keep Raptor on his toes. Raptor doesn't really know when it's his turn to swing again. And the more you make your opponent block, the more meter that you build. Always pay attention to that in this game. You know, I know it's frustrating not being able to open your opponent up, but you do get a lot of meter for it. And the somersault going right through Hayatei, going to the other side and just kind of mixing his perception of where exactly Black Canary is. Hayatei's in the corner. This is a bad situation. The hard knockdown goes for the delayed wake up, and that was a great recognition there by Red Raptor. Saw that either he anticipated that delayed wake up or recognized that the delayed wake up was happening, and he just went for a mix up. In this game, you can hold down your switch stance button on knockdown, and you can either do a short delay wake up or a long delayed wake up. Either way, whenever you choose either of those two options, you do not have access to your wake up attack, meaning that your wake up attack that usually has invincibility frames, you can't do right away. You have to wait to actually get up, and you won't get any of those invincibility frames. So if you notice that your opponent's kind of doing a little bit too much delay wake-upping, just kind of go for the mix-up and anticipate the delay wake-up. But Hayatei takes that last match. I want to thank Red Raptor for giving me the opportunity to commentate this track for him, or this video. It was a lot of fun sitting there talking for 37 minutes, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys aren't subscribed to Red Raptor's YouTube, please do so. He's got a lot of content out there, does great work, and he's definitely one of the smarter players out there. And if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so. You guys can follow me at Darth Arma. Thanks for listening, guys.